Hi guys, welcome back to another lecture. In this lecture, we are going to be discussing about circular permutations. Circular permutations. So in the previous chapter already, they have discussed about linear permutation and circular permutation. Basically, like we have studied the definitions and we understand the basic difference between them. So now in this chapter, we are going to be discussing about circular permutations. What are the types of circular permutations? And we'll solve one or two small and easy examples so that we can understand how we can solve problems in circular permutation. Okay. So as usual in the linear permutation, whatever the n elements are given, we are going to be arranging them in the form of a linear way, that is in a straight line, one after the other. But when it comes to circular permutation, you can see that we are arranging them in a circle. So when you see the difference between linear and circular permutation, in the circular permutations, there will not be a starting and ending point. For example, given elements are A, B, C, okay, and we have to choose two elements from them and arrange them. Suppose we have chosen AC, A comma C, we have chosen these two elements and we are arranging them A first, C second, and C first, A second. So these are two permutations, right? But when we are arranging them in a circle, A, C, you cannot say which is the starting point, which is the ending point. There's no starting and ending point of a circle. So when it comes to circular permutation, both these combinations are same. Okay. But in circular permutations, there is one more thing called direction. Because if you observe both the circles here, in this direction, in the first circle, the elements are A, B, C, D, E. Okay. And in the second circle also, the elements are A, B, C, D, E. But the only difference is that in the first circle, the elements are arranged in a clockwise manner. And in the second circle, the elements are arranged in the anti-clockwise manner. So this is a basic difference when it comes to linear and circular permutation. In circular permutation, there will be another concept of direction also. Suppose we are at an event, okay. Just imagine that there are 500 guests to the event and there are some 100 tables. So at each table, we have to arrange 5 guests. And in the order, like maybe this may be an official event or maybe a movie function, so we have to arrange the cast of the movie in some orderly manner. So in these kind of things, circular permutation can be seen as the way, because we'll know how many ways in which we can arrange these kind of things. So for example, if we have to place the main cast side by side, there's the condition that the hero of the movie and the heroine of the movie should be sitting side by side. So this is one of the conditions, and remaining 3 chairs can be occupied by any of the cast members. Okay. So if this is the condition, how many ways can we do it? So these are all the questions that will rise. And also, if there is a certain demand that suppose if stage is facing this way, suppose this is a stage and table is like this. So what the cast has requested is that hero should be placed facing the stage and other cast members can be seating anywhere. So these kind of conditions are to be considered when we are doing a seating arrangement. So this is how we should follow when it comes to circular arrangement, and we have to see in which direction or which order all the participants are seated. So this is basically about circular permutation. There are two types, one is clockwise, one is anti-clockwise. Both of these are not considered same, these are different. When it comes to linear permutation, A, B, C, D, E is only one permutation. But when it comes to circular permutation, A, B, C, D, E are two permutations. One is clockwise, one is anti-clockwise. Okay. So I hope you understand the difference. Next, we are going to derive a formula for circular permutation. For example, there are n dissimilar elements and we have to arrange them in a circle. So how many ways of arranging it? Okay. So when we consider a circular permutation, what you will understand is that there's no starting point or ending point. For example, there are n chairs. Okay, these are all chairs. The lines that I am drawing, assume them to be chairs. So there are n chairs completely, totally around the table. In those n chairs, we have to seat n members. Okay. So there's no starting point or ending point. So for the first member, you can choose any of these positions. Suppose I have seated the first member here. So after this, you have to seat everybody with respect to this first member. So the seating position of the second member can only be determined with respect to first member. So if we are considering n elements, one element will be already placed. Only n minus elements need to be placed with respect to the first element. So remaining n minus 1 elements can be placed in the circular permutation by n minus 1 factorial times. We have already discussed in the linear permutation. So if there are n elements and all are to be arranged, the formula is n factorial. But here, since there is no starting and ending point, and there should be one reference point, so we have already placed one person here, and with respect to this reference point, we are placing all other people. So one element we will not consider. So n minus 1 elements only we will arrange. So that's how n minus 1 factorial came out. Okay. So there's one more thing that I'll a small logical thing that I'll explain. That is, if you consider elements A, B, C, right? Suppose there are A, B, C, D, E. This is the total number of elements, n equal to 5. Suppose they have asked us to take 3 elements, r equal to 3. Okay. So we have to arrange NPR. So NPR is the number of arrangements, right? When we are dealing with linear permutation. Okay. So ABC can also be arranged as BCA, can also be arranged as CAB, right? If you consider these three are three different permutations, because here A is coming first, in this B is coming first, and this C is coming first. But if you consider this circular permutation A, B, C, you can see if you start with A, if you start with A and move clockwise, it will be ABC. If you start with B and you move clockwise, it will be BCA, BCA. If you start with C and you move clockwise, it will be CAB. So all these three permutations are represented by only one circular permutation. So all these three linear permutations can be represented using only one circular permutation. You understand now? So this is also one of the things that should be seen as a difference between linear and circular permutation. So here there's no preference of starting and ending point, only the order of the elements matters. Like after B, C is coming, after C, A is coming. That's the only thing that matters when it comes to circular permutation. So when you consider this also in case of garland of flowers or necklace with beads. So suppose if there is a necklace, so let us consider this is a necklace. Okay. And there are only black colored beads and white colored beads. Okay. So suppose you have arranged them. So the one I am highlighting is black color and one I am not highlighting is white color. Okay, let us consider like that. So this is a necklace. Okay. For example, if you look clockwise, there are alternative black and white beads. That's it. Alternatively, black and white beads are coming. Black, white, black, white, black, white, black. Right. If you look at anti-clockwise also, black, white, black, white, black, white. Alternatively, the beads are being placed. So it doesn't matter whether it's clockwise or anti-clockwise, because both of them are same. But if the same condition is considered when we are placing people, suppose if you consider clockwise direction, there will be one set of people. If you see in the anti-clockwise direction, there will be another set of people. Suppose here, if you see in this circle only, if you consider clockwise, people are seated in the way A, B, C, D, E. If you consider anti-clockwise, people are seated in the way A, E, D, C, B. So these two are different when it comes to people or elements or whatever the things may be. But in some examples, like the flowers or a necklace with beads, these anti-clockwise and clockwise direction can be ignored. Okay, both and clockwise and anti-clockwise are considered same in these kind of examples, right? Then what will happen? We considered that n minus 1 factorial was the total number of circular permutations when n elements were taken. But when it comes to the case of a garland of flowers or a necklace with a bead, we are telling that both clockwise and anti-clockwise are nothing but similar. Okay. So the total number of circular permutations in this case will be half the original formula, n minus 1 factorial by 2, because both of these are same. So the number will be reduced to half of the original number. Okay. So now we'll see an example. Suppose there are 5 boys and 5 girls and we have to seat them in a circle. So we'll consider a circle first. So let us consider this is the circle. So there are 5 boys and 5 girls and there are 10 seats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And there are no conditions. Like in the question, there is no conditions given like how to seat the boys and girls. Should the boys be seated next to girls or not? These conditions are not given. So we can place them any way we want. Okay. So total 5 boys and 5 girls. Total n equal to 10. And for us to arrange in a circle, the formula is n minus 1 factorial. That is 9 factorial will be the answer. So we can arrange 5 boys and 5 girls in a circle in 9 factorial ways. Okay. We'll go to the next question. Suppose find the number of ways in which we can arrange 8 men and 4 women around a circular table. So there is a circular table and we have to arrange 8 men and 4 women around a circular table. So in how many ways we can do that? Suppose here 2 conditions are given. First of all, we will write the formula when no condition is given. And there is no condition, total number of elements equal to 12, because we can seat them any way we want. So the number of ways in which we can do is n minus 1 factorial, that equal to 11 factorial. Okay. Now we'll see the first condition. What they're saying is all women should come together. All women should come together. So in this case, suppose seats are like this. Okay. Suppose women. There are 4 women, right? So these all the women should be seating like this. Like we should not do like women, there will be a gap in between and we should place another woman here. So there should not be gap between any 2 women. So all the women should be placed in a single unit. So what we'll do is there are total 8 men and we will consider all women unit to be 1 unit just for the sake of permutating them. Okay. So total 8 plus 1, 9 units. So in how many ways we can arrange 9 units in a circular permutation? 9 minus 1 factorial. Okay. But inside the women unit also, these are 4 distinct women, right? These are 4 separate women. Women 1, 2, women 3, women 4. So here also in between them also we can arrange, right? Like women 4 can be seated here. Women 2 can be seated here. Women 3 can be here. Women 1 can be here. So here also there will be number of arrangements. So we have to multiply that also. So that will be, since there are 4 women can be arranged in 4 factorial ways. So this will be the total number of arrangements for the first question. So that is 8 factorial into 4 factorial. Okay. So now if we go to the second option, second question. So no two women can sit together, right? So if you see, they are asking us that no two women should sit together. So first we'll consider the circle like this. Suppose all the men are seated here like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So these are all men. Okay, there are 8 men. Suppose there are vacant chairs in between. So these are all vacant chairs. So what he's asking is no two women should come together. So like there should be no two women right next to each other. So our only choice is that we have to place women between two men. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have to fill women in these 8 places only, because for every place we fill women, they will be between two men's. They will not be next to a woman. Between every woman there will be two men. Okay. So out of the 8 places, we have to pick 4 places because there are only 4 women in our question. So in these 8 places, we have to choose 4 places and we can place women's there. Okay. So for doing that, it's 8p4. Out of the 8 places, we are permutating 4 places. And remaining, how many men are there? 8 men are there. So 8 minus 1 factorial. That is 7 factorial into 8p4. So this is the answer for second question. Okay, so now you understand, like when they give you conditions, this is how you first imagine, and then after that you can come up with the result. Okay, this is basic about circular permutation. So in the next lecture we'll be discussing permutation with constraint repetitions. Okay, so in the next lecture we'll be discussing constraint repetitions. So until now, I have not solved some important questions in circular permutation. After the completion of permutation with the constraint repetitions, the basic theory part of permutations and combinations will be over. So after that, there will be some theorems which are need to be proven regarding combinations. So some easy theorems and statements which you should remember for the competitive exams. I will do that one in the next lecture after the constant repetitions. After that, there will be series of lectures in which I will solve previous JEE, MSET and BITSAT questions. Okay. So after that, maybe I'll take nearly at least 5 lectures in which I will discuss only problems. So if there is any doubt in the theory part, you should come visit these lectures. And after these lectures, all the 5 lectures or 6 lectures will be only previous year problems. So I'll be directly solving them. Okay. So stay tuned for the next lectures. Please subscribe if you like the content and share it with your friends. Okay. Thank you very much.